It's your boy, Mr. Vaughn. We're bringing another video to you today. Today we're bringing some brief UFC news. I don't know if you guys seen the video, but there was a video circulating of welterweight champ Tyron Woodley and middleweight champ Michael Bisping having a little discussion backstage, and they kind of agreed to fight each other at a catch weight of about 180 pounds. Woodley said he's down. Bisping said he was down. Super fight? Is it gonna happen? Now, my man, I like Tyron Woodley a lot. I'm not a super big fan of Michael Bisping. I mean, props to him for winning the belt, but and I'm not taking nothing away from him winning the belt because he knocked Luke Rockhold out. That was Rockhold's own fault. He didn't take Bisping serious. He had no respect for Bisping striking, and he didn't take that fight seriously. He thought he was just gonna. He had already beat Bisping once. He thought he was gonna go in there and walk over Bisping, and Bisping knocked him out. Now, having said that, Bisping lost to Anderson Silva. I don't care what nobody says. I know the judge. I mean, I'll give him credit. After the fight should have been stopped, he was knocked out by that flying knee. Anderson knocked him out by the flying knee, but the refs didn't stop the fight. Yada yada yada. Anderson had the adrenaline dump. He thought he won. He did the walk off. It was over. So Bisping came back in round 4, and he won round 4. Anderson won round 5, but yet and still, they gave the fight to Bisping. So I'm not gonna. Anytime you let it go to the judge's decision, anything can happen. But in my opinion, Bisping didn't win that fight. But having said that, he knocked Luke Rockhold out, and he is the champ. But I'm not a huge fan of Bisping. But I got but respect to Bisping for doing what he's done. He's been a veteran in the sport, had some tough fights, had some tough losses. But he stayed there and he fought, and he's champ. So I don't want to feel like that I'm not respecting Bisping. I'm just not a fan of Bisping. But he's a good fighter. He's absolutely a good fighter. He's a durable fighter. So this fight with Tyron Woodley, I would like to see it. I mean, Tyron Woodley's a big 170er. I mean, he walks around. He said it to Bisping in the video. He said he walks around at like 200. And I think Bisping may walk around at 205. Bisping used to fight 205. When he fought Rashad Evans, he fought at 205. So Bisping's not a huge 185er. I mean, he's like, you look at somebody like Anderson. When Anderson would, his walking weight was like 220, and he would cut down to 185. So I think Bisping might walk around at like 215. I mean, they could fight at 205. I mean, they could fight at 185, but it's not for they're not going to put the belts up. But I would like to see that fight. That'd be a good fight. But for Tyron Woodley, man, I feel he's really talking about he wants money fights, and I don't blame him. I mean, with how UFC pays its fighters, and I have a huge discrepancy with how fighters get paid. I talk about that all the time. The fact that Rousey got $3 million, she got more than that actually, because that doesn't take into account the pay-per-view points. If she got those, there's a chance she didn't get pay-per-view. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to start speaking about money because I'm not sure, but I just know for a fact that I don't feel she got at least $3 million. And Amanda Nunes got about $200,000 for that fight. You know what I'm saying? So the discrepancies, and then the whole thing with the Reebok deal, I thought that was super foul. So I'm with fighters when they talk about they want big money fights. And Tyron Woodley's one of those guys now. He said now that he's champ, he wants big money fights. He says he wants to fight GSP. He wants to fight the Diaz brothers. He wants to fight Conor. These are all money fights for Tyron. So I don't blame him for that. And the UFC has proved in their matchmaking that they don't really care what the rankings say. They went and put in place this huge ranking system, and then they don't stick by it. They don't really stick to it. And I know I'm gonna get hate or whatever. Dana might even. I doubt Dana's not. Dana's not gonna see this video, so fuck it. But if he does, I'm a huge fan of the sport, Dana. But you guys are doing a lot that I think you guys could fix. So, yeah. Would I like to see Tyron Woodley and Michael Bisping? I think that would be a very interesting fight. But aside from that, I do want to see Tyron get some big money fights because I think he's a good fighter. And all these fighters, I mean, here's the thing about it. The it thing to do is for every fighter to call out Conor McGregor because they know Conor McGregor's that money fight. Did you see that stat that Conor McGregor has had more pay-per-view buys than all the other UFC fighters combined? It's crazy. Like, he tripled them. He like doubled them. I don't remember. I'll post the stat in the on the screen if I can remember, but it's a crazy stat. I mean, Conor McGregor is the super draw. The only one who was equivalent to him was Ronda Rousey, and she just got knocked. So, Tyron Woodley, Michael Bisping, would I like to see it? Yes. But more than that, I would just like to see Tyron get some big fights because I'm a fan of Tyron Woodley, and I think he's a good fighter. And another fighter, just real quick, I want to mention it because I was watching a video with him. Another fighter who's pound for pound the best and doesn't get any recognition for it is Demetrius Johnson. He's from up here. He's from the Northwest, so you know I ride for my Northwest fighters. And Mighty Mouse is the pound for pound best fighter on the planet, and he gets absolutely no credit for it. No recognition at all. And that's criminal. This dude is cleaned out his division. He's about to tie Anderson Silva's record for title defenses. That's a record that I didn't think anybody was going to touch. And he's about to tie it. To talk to this dude, he's a great fighter, and he's not getting any credit for it. He's getting looked over. Nobody watches his pay-per-views. I watch them because I'm a huge fan of the sport. But he's not doing 1 million buys. He should because he's that good, but he's not. So, anyway, that's just my little piece of UFC news. If y'all saw the rumor, there's a lot more going on as far as what's Ronda gonna do? Is she gonna retire? Who's next for Amanda Nunes? Who's next for Cody Garbrandt? There's a lot going on in UFC right now, so keep it locked. I'll be bringing some more videos, UFC, and also keep it locked right here because tomorrow I'll be doing my picks for the wildcard weekend. Wildcard weekend starts on Saturday, so I'll be putting up my video tomorrow for who I'm picking for wildcard weekend. So y'all keep it locked to Mr. Von's channel, Sweatbox, for everything that we got cracking on the channel. And I want to appreciate y'all for subscribing and tuning in. I'm going to keep the content coming, y'all. It's your boy, Mr. Von. Until next time, make sure to keep your hands up and keep your head on a swivel, y'all. Because we all fighting. Peace, y'all.
To the ends with you, I'ma go. To the end with you, I'ma go. To the end with you.